Oh,
So it
okay.
doesn't matter one way or the other.
There we go. There we go.
Well, hello everyone to another installment of Voices of Color. As usual, we want to start the Voices of Color show off with our disclaimer. We are not endorsed by or affiliated with the Society for Creative Anachronism, Incorporated. The views of the hosts and guests do not represent the views, values, or policies of SCA Inc. And the reason we do this is really because we're not just operating in the SCA. We are talking about what it's like to be a person of color outside of the gate as well. Because as I've said before, our lives and our experiences don't end at the gate. So I have my co-hosts with me. Co-host, do you want to introduce yourself?
But in the meantime, we're getting our guest back.
Oh, okay.
But in the meantime, Gigi, why don't you introduce yourself first?
Hi, I'm Gigi Colson. I'm a history buff in general, so I'm in a lot of historical costuming and living history spaces. And so one of the things you're back. One of the things I talk about on the show is not just American reenactment or the SCA, but also European and other living history spaces. Nice to be here.
Yeah, and I'm Jessica. I am the SCA DEI officer, which is very exciting. But here I am just a Scadian of color. I am super excited to chat with Sabah tonight because he is in my kingdom and he is one of the first people that I met in the SCA. So this is very exciting for me. Back to Nina to introduce him.
Yes. So our guest tonight is Sabah al Rashid. We had an opportunity to talk to get ready for this episode, and you had so many stories to tell and so many interesting stories. Being, you said the third night or around thereabout Black Night of the Mid-Realm, you had a lot to talk about. And let's start off with your, how did you get involved in the SCA, your origin story?
The origin story. Involved with the SCA. Well, I'm a lifetime Chicago. I mean, I've lived other places, but Chicago is my home, right? So I don't know. I'm showing my age. There used to be a show on PBS called Wild Chicago, right? Where they just went around this dude, this really weird dude, man. He was cool though. I'd hang out with him. I'd have a couple of tequilas with him. He ran around the city in a pith helmet and just found stuff around the city. And he found the Chicago group at the time. And they did a whole thing. That's Sir Fern, people like that were there. And they were at a fighter practice and talking about SCA stuff. At this point, I was done with college. I was done with football. I was kind of like, well, kind of need a challenge. Love history anyway. Let's go find this stuff. We went and found it. First event I went to, I couldn't even tell you what it was, but I missed the fighting. And I just saw a whole lot of people like saying they were dancing. To me, it looked like they were walking in circles a lot, but they said they were dancing. And I'm like, okay, maybe this ain't what I thought it was. Wound up moving to Indiana. Let me let that sink in for a minute. Wound up moving to Indiana, and the Shire out there, Shire Greyhope, love them people. Couldn't have had a better place to start. Got in contact with them. Interesting part about that, my mom was visiting at the time, and she went to the meeting with us. Before the meeting, it's Indiana, right? I wrote to, I think it was the Seneschal who was the group, and like, look, hey, I don't look like y'all. Is this going to be a problem? Let me know now. And he wrote me back like, nope, there's a problem. I'll shut it down, all that. I'm like, okay, I heard this before, but we're going to go anyway. Walk into the meeting with my significant other at the time and my mom, and people started calling me by name, and I'm freaking out. Like, how y'all know who I am? Oh, it's right. I sent y'all an email. That's right. Okay. And it was really cool. It was all right. I have so much love for that group because I could not think of a better place to start. at all. Especially the women of Great Hope at that time, I was suddenly like their child. It was amazing. It was amazing. They sat me down and told me what my entire, I hate that term, SCA career, but they told me what was everything that was going to happen to me in the SCA. And I'll be damned. Almost to the letter that they said it was going to happen. So that's it. And mostly, I mean, I was looking for competition. Sports has always been kind of my go-to thing. Things weren't going well for me and all that. I needed to be in the gym, or I needed to be competing or something. So coming back from playing pro football and all that, now I'm like just sitting around twiddling my thumbs. So I got a chance to see the fighting stuff and tried that. I'm like, all right, let's roll with this for a minute. Let's see how this works. And lo and behold, this is where we wound up.
And how were some of those early experiences being around and surrounded by people who didn't look like you?
It was at Great Hope. I had one incident at Great Hope and they shut it down, right? Because there got to be, people talk about it being family and such. And they had a household there that I wasn't part of. That's a whole other thing. But everybody there got treated like family. Everybody. Like to the point of, hey, we haven't heard from you in like a day and a half. What's going on with you? What you doing? That kind of thing. Right. So I guess he was calling my best friend out there at the time. He needed some help with something at his house. So I went over to see what I could do to help. And a friend, another young lady from the Shire, we're figuring out how to fix this. Excuse my language. She like looks at us and go, "Are you gonna nigger rig this?" Mm. And I look at her and I just look at her, and my friend lost his mind. Like, you need to get out of my, what, I don't know, leave, get out, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting there like, kind of that shock thing for a minute, because it was like so unexpected at that point, right? Just so unexpected. He shut it down, he apologized, and apparently, he got on the group list and told other people this had happened. And, I'm getting phone calls from folks and, show up in meetings and like, we would, don't even, don't worry about that. We're going to take care of this and all that. And they did. And from the group itself, never another issue whatsoever. Never. I have so much, like I said, I couldn't have picked a better place to start. I could not have picked a better place to start. And she wound up being like excommunicado for that and a few other reasons, but yeah, I couldn't have picked a better place to start at all. So much love for those people.
You also talked about in the pre-interview being involved in the early civil rights movement.
Oh, wow.
How did all of that translate to your experience? Wow. Yeah, you have some great stuff. So how did that all translate into the SCA?
A lot of that goes back to my mother, right? Sure. Before that, right? So we get done with the meeting and they're talking about personas and stuff. And the first thing my mother said, we didn't even get to the car. And she's like, you don't have to be European, right? And I'm like, Ma, why would you think? And then she started talking about our history again. I love history because of my mother, right? I'm in love with Black history or ethnic history because of my mother. To the point where when we got home, we didn't have, I don't know how she did it, but she started coming up with all these other ideas and stuff. And like, you could be this from this kingdom in Africa and this from this kingdom in middle, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, Mom, just relax. Right now, I just want to hit somebody with a stick. We'll figure it out, right? So to get to the question, we were talking before about things being generational, right? In the pre-interview, right? So my mom took me out of school, probably one of the most influential 2 weeks of my life. My mom took me out of school to go to the Second March on Washington, where the kids I was hanging out with, because there was adult things that would happen, right? And the things you do during the day, and we can talk about some of that too, because some of that translates over. But my babysitter was Yogi King. I was hanging out with Coretta Scott King, people like that, and I'm seeing what these great kings and queens are doing and saying and trying to do to uplift. And I'm only like 6 or 7 at the time, but it had an impact because it carried over. When we got back home, I don't know if any of y'all remember dating myself in Chicago, the SCLC, Jesse Jackson led, before Rainbow Push was like, there was this organization. And while most people would go to church on Sunday, we were going to do that. Anytime my mom went to a march, I was with her. I was fed in my neighborhood by the Black Panther Breakfast Program. Things like that. All these things had an impact. And it made me, I realized early on that there's an obligation. I have an obligation. I watch people get turned away from voting and such. I've watched them have all that hard time and all that. So it just made me early on understand that there's an obligation I have. How did I know how I was going to do it? Absolutely not. I'm a kid, right? I just know that I need to stop saying the N-word. I just know that I need to start treating this dude who we absolutely hate each other. That's my brother. I need to figure it out. And I think that's what I bring. That's what I brought. That came with me to the SCA, right? So when that incident happened with the in-rigging thing, it just kind of shocked me back. I got comfortable, right? Because I'm with people who I know I trust and all that, and I got comfortable. I'm not going to use that assimilate word. We'll talk about that one later. But I got comfortable. And this girl just shocked me back into, yup, it's still there. I need to remember it, and I need to keep my promise, and I need to act on this. So, for that, I mean, I don't know if that answers the question, but that's what put me. That's kind of what put me in that mindset. I wasn't in attack mode, Jessica. See, I got that look off. I wasn't in attack mode. Actually, I'm usually never in attack mode until somebody puts me there. But I started noticing other things, how people would treat me. Like when I decided on a persona, because for the longest time I was just Adrian of Grey Hope. It's easy, it's great. I ain't got to do no paperwork. We're good. I just want to hit people with a stick, right? When I decided on my persona, which a Mamluk persona, a slave soldier, right? People at Grey Hope were like, "Ooh, you know about this?" I'm like, "I don't know as much as I should, but I'm gonna learn." And they're like, "As soon as you learn it, you need to give us a class." Wow, amazing to me, right? Every other place I went, I would get, "Oh, so you're a Moor?" Like, no, you are no, wrong area. And then a few people, especially in like Indiana and parts of Ohio, would be doing that whole hey Moor kind of thing. I'm like, you know what? You seem a little too comfortable with that term. What you really want to say? Because I'll say it with you. You say it, go ahead. I'll let you say it once. I'll say it with you. But this is my persona. You know this. I don't disrespect you on your persona. Why you want to disrespect me and mine? Right. So that was like the first thing. Like, let me get this straight now. Because my persona as a Mamluk slave was more. I got sent to like a West Point, right, for schooling from an early age. You know, I learned how to read. I learned how, chess, which I can't play chess, but hey, I ain't got to tell nobody that. Education from like high school all the way through college, and then when you're with your unit, you had democracy. They voted on their leaders. They voted on who was in charge and such. While you were still trying to figure out what I can't use pee to clean this wound. We had medicines and such and all this, right? So please don't. I'm not going to disrespect you and treat you like that. Don't disrespect me and treat me like that.
If I can jump in really quick,
Mm-hmm.
Something you said that struck me, and I think also struck Nina and Gigi, is that idea of getting comfortable, right?
Yep.
That has happened to me many times in different spaces, where I let myself forget the ways that I'm different.
Yep.
And everything is great and everything is cool, and I get too comfortable. And then when that little thing happens, whether it's little or big, it is stunning. It is just a moment of just like, oh my God.
Because you don't expect it to happen, right?
Exactly.
What that in service to the dream. I bought in. I'm like, yup, I'm a dream with everybody. I'm not gonna be Freddy Krueger, but I'm a dream with you, right? And then this happens. It's like, well, wait a minute. Maybe everybody got a little bit different take on this dream thing. So let me take a step back for a minute, and let's take a look around and let's like start watching the environment. Let's see what I'm really into here. So that kind of lit up. That kind of lit up.
I agree with Jessica that resonated with me. The SCA provides a lot of people with a social group, like a ready-made social group. When you join a local group, they use words like family, right? And we're all living the dream. We're all part of this organization that's worldwide, and we all love each other, and we're all similar. And if you travel, there's crash space, and it's a community that you get. And so when a person of color, when a Black woman like me joins, sometimes you do forget. You roll with the rhetoric, these words they're using. You're like, oh, okay, that's what this is. And then something happens that jolts you out of that fantasy back into the reality that you are a person of color with people who are not. And they know you're different.
And it doesn't have to be, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a big thing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Gigi. Sorry, Queen.
I mean, go ahead. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but I totally related to you when you said that. I think we all had our moments, right? Where you had to adjust yourself and then remember that you're different and then comport yourself accordingly. Like, I can't get too comfortable. And that means that our experience in the SCA is different from then on, because we are walking on eggshells a little bit. We are putting a hedge between us. We're saying the words, but we're remembering that at any moment, white is right, and you might turn on me, so I have to.
Yep. And like I said, I couldn't have said it because God bless them, man. They were amazing to me. They were amazing to this day. Jessica, you know a few people who are from where it's now. But you know some people from there. You see me in Air Free hang out all the time. Those are the kind of people that were looking out for me. It was like I say, I can never thank them enough. Because without them, I don't think I wouldn't be here now. I would have. They'll probably be like, see me on the news, like, ain't that the dude that hit people with an axe in the head in Ohio sometime? Ain't that him? I would probably be that guy.
Now, just for me, what part of Indiana? Because I'm not really so familiar with the Middle Kingdom. Is it close, like northern Indiana, closer to Chicago when you just go over into Gary, or is it?
Well, see, the northern Indiana, a lot of people, some people still consider it part of the greater Chicago area, right? But most of the events in Indiana happen like mid-state or down south. And Indiana was like some folks call it the birthplace of the Klan. So a lot of southern Indiana, middle Indiana, we talk about sundown towns, which we'll get to that too. They have sundown counties and stuff down that way. Even like some of the name of the towns or like they let you know which way you were supposed to be going back in the day, right? It's crazy, and I oftentimes, man, they would have to talk me into going to an event because, like, well, you want me to go past Fort Wayne? No, we ain't doing that. We ain't. I don't have a concealed carry. So no, we ain't doing that. You know, and they like, look, we all going together. You ride with us, you stay with us, you camp with us. If there's an issue, we got you. And I believed them, and they did. Yeah, oh God, how do I put it? Because that's to me, that's one of my biggest issues is like where you are asking us to go without even thinking about it. Like, really? Do you understand? Like, dude, there ain't even McDonald's don't even put anything out here. You want me to go here? Are you kidding me?
I'm not gonna lie. Many a time have I made the joke of like, this is where people come to die. I'm not about this. I don't want to be here. If I get found here, everyone's gonna make fun of me at my funeral. Like, well, why was she here?
They will blame you, Jessica. Your family will be like, what does she think us? We told her. We told her.
Right? All my friends over my body, just like, that was dumb.
Right? You know where my knighting was, I don't even remember the name of the town. Arrington had just they were getting made a barony that day, as well as my knighting, but it wasn't even near where Arrington was. Like, seriously, there was nothing there. I'm on the phone telling people it's a trap, don't come.
Wow.
But it is a point of concern. We have absolutely done things in Sundown Towns. We have absolutely done things in Sundown Counties. There is legitimate concern here, and there's legitimate reason for people of color to talk to one another. And hey, just so you know, get a hotel outside the city, right? We're not talking about, and really quickly, in case anyone watching doesn't know, right? A sundown town or a sundown county is a place where the law reinforced basically segregation, which is honestly a nice way to put it. It was basically a way to codify racism into the laws of an area. And these existed up until the 70s, which means the people with this mentality stayed in power quite a while after these laws were off the books. And still to today, you can find potentially unfriendly areas for people of color.
And when Jessica says unfriendly, she means physical violence.
Yep.
I mean, there are still lynchings, right? In 2020.
Oh, she don't even get me started on that. Don't even,
I want to make sure that the seriousness of this, we're joking because levity helps us live this life, right? Because we don't want to be angry all the time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
This is a safety issue for us, and I don't know if some group members, especially event stewards or event coordinators for kingdoms, realize how serious of a thing this is for us, knowing that you could go somewhere where physical violence could be visited upon your person because you stop at the gas station on your way to an event, or you stop at the store on your way to an event to grab some things. I do believe that once I get to an event that I am in a safe space because, like Adrian's talking about, I know what groups welcome me. I feel that. But we're just talking about living life in the United States of America, even in 2021. It can be very dangerous for people of color.
Well, kind of looping all of that together, we talk about being caught unawares. The one event that always sticks in my mind was in Southern Oregon, where I'm from. And it's an SCA event, everybody's having fun. And I experienced my first overt, almost intentional feeling of racism. And I remember being in that town and thinking, this is why I didn't want to come here. And at one point I went to go get us food because there was a lot going on. No one in the streets. I waited for every cross light because I knew that if I jaywalked, I was going to be picked up. Part of it would be my luck, but if I got picked up by the police, it would not be good. And I remember talking to my partner and saying, hey, if anything happens in this town, just be ready to come and get me and, make sure that I get out, make sure that I come home, right? Like, I think y'all are right. People don't understand that this continues to happen, and it can be something very simple or something very overt, but we know, like, you can roll into a town and it's that vibe. It's the, the subtle looks when you walk into a store that let us know it's not okay, right? Right?
Try walking in the store in a turban.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even, it's to the point where I change before we go eat after an event now. Before we all just used to go, and now like I'm at least taking the turban off. I'm okay with "Are you in a play?" I'm okay with that one. But the rest of it, when you looking me up and down and getting ready, pointing to you, I'm a patriot thing. I'm like, you go ahead, sir. Thank you for your service. I just want to get a hamburger. It's okay.
Right?
It's okay.
I saw my Big Mac. What's wrong with that?
I gotta say this too. Like, at this point, the fact that y'all are explaining what this is to people, to me, is sad, because I've been in this thing 20 plus years. Me and a few others, we didn't mention names, but Jessica knows what I'm talking about. We've been saying these things this time. This is what it is. During the last when that should not be named was elected president, right? I don't know if you heard it, got any of this, Jessica, but we were talking up here about putting together an SCA Green Book. So that, we would know, like, okay, we can go to this event, we can go to that event. When Celtic was made king, Pekin, Illinois, y'all Google that. If y'all out there, Google Pekin, Illinois. We had conversation up here as people are kind of like, are you going? I don't know. I'll go if you go, kind of thing.
So
right?
wait, let me get this straight. They had coronation for a Black royal at a place that was unsafe, like in a location that was a Sundown Town?
I'm not going to tell you it's unsafe now, but if you look, the name of the house school now is the Dragons, right? The name of the house school before they changed it to make it more PC was the Chinks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Pekin, Illinois is unfortunately one of the more notable sundown towns
and
in Illinois. That's a very dark history.
And they're working to change it. And let me say this too. Let me say this too, because I know we have a lot of the audience are non-melanated people, white folks. I'll just say white folks, right? If I'm going to be honest, and if we're all going to be honest, we got to say like 80 to 90% of our contacts with folks are cool and positive, right? So I'm gonna give credit for that. I don't want to give you A+ points because, like, that's just being a decent person. But it's that 10% that is potentially dangerous for us. And in some instances, I know people are gonna like, he's being dramatic. I'm not being dramatic. It could be physically dangerous for us, right? So, well, for everybody else, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And it takes its toll, having to watch your back and, be on key and make sure you're aware of your surroundings. It is tiring. If I have to pay attention to where I'm at, who's around, who's giving me looks, whether or not this area is dangerous, I'm not having fun at an event. So when we think about, even the Sundown Towns and unsafe, but people who are going, we're watching our back the entire time. We don't even get to participate because that's what we're concerned about, survival. And I think that's hard for folks to remember because you may not see the danger, but we know it's there. Again, it's the subtle glances. You're at a stoplight. It's the people who are staring you down. And so we don't get to enjoy it to the fullest. And I think that's another piece of it is even if, there's a remote chance of, unsafety, it's also the emotional, the psychological, the spiritual toll it takes, which can have even a longer lasting impact on a person.
Right. Yeah, I get that. Like I made a joke back during lockdown about I'm gonna do a class on the things I do to get to an event safely. And I was just trying to bring some levity to it. And I got all these people like, oh, you should do that class. And it's like, yeah, you know what, maybe that's not a bad idea. Then I looked at who's asking me to do the class. I was like, wait a minute, these are like all white folks. Like, why am I doing this class? Like, why? I don't understand. Like, explain to me why you want me to do that class. I didn't get it. And again, I think that's, to me, that's another thing that's generational, right? It's like, wait a minute, this wouldn't be for you. This would be FUBU, for us, by us. This wouldn't be for you. Now, if you're interested in what we go through, then say that. I get that. Now you're showing you want to be, you know, like Jessica and Gigi saying, you're showing that you want to be educated or get some knowledge in this. I'm okay with that. But just to do it, for what? I didn't see the game. Would I do it? Yeah, I would. But at that point, I'm like, I didn't see the game, right? Because those of us who do this, we all pretty much do the same thing. I know I Google where this is. Never heard of this town before. I do all of that. What the highway is like? Too many cornfields? I don't know. Steve. I don't know about all that, right? Pig farms? Nope, definitely not. Ain't going that way. You know, but I didn't see the game. Thinking about it now as I'm talking, yeah, I probably should have went ahead and did it, but I still might. But
Well, I mean,
you know,
it might be helpful if someone wants to know for a reason. If you are an event steward, if you are an event coordinator, if you want education on this, yes, reach out. We will help. We will tell you what we do when we do our research to go to an event, so you can do that same thing when you're looking at a site.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. And I mean, I got to the point where I knew what events I was going to every year. Especially, it was much easier when I lived in Indiana. Just like, you know, just because live in Ohio. Ohio is like, if you're an SCA person, Ohio is like in the middle of everything, right? You can get to everything really easy. Where I'm at up here in a little bit north of Chicago, you know, everything's going to be at least 3 hours away. A day trip, we look at day trip now like 5 hours. Right? So it's, you know, they don't have to worry about that. You know, many times Monica's like, you know what, we could just be home, and she's the only one that drives. I'm like, you don't really want to be doing hours like that. So maybe we should skip this one, kind of thing. And I really wanted to get out to events because, you know, people love her. I'm just kind of like her bodyguard. Everybody loves Monica Johara. I'm just her bodyguard. So I don't know. Well, y'all tell me if I think I should do it, I'll do it. Audience, if y'all want me to do it, I'll do it. But understand, I'm not going to be explaining a whole lot of terms and such. Like the fact that we're explaining Sundown Town to adults, to me, I'm 60. The fact we're explaining this to adults is amazing to me. That's amazing to me. And you know, to a point where I would, you know, sometimes I get to the point where, you know, I say, you don't know because you don't want to know. And maybe that's jaded. I'm tired. Like Jessica and I talk, because it's my fault that she's in this fight. I kind of sucked her in it. But because I got tired, you know, I got tired of explaining the same thing over and over and over to somebody, and trying to reinforce somebody, and then trying to validate, did I do good with that? Like, you know what, you're a grown person, man. Did you do good? I don't know. What do you think? You know, I'm not your guardian. I don't speak for the entire race. I speak for me. I speak for one Black man. That's what I can speak for. Don't ask me about everything else, right? And I got tired. I've left this fight several times because I was just tired. And then felt guilty each and every time. Especially like shortly after Jessica's like, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm like, okay, you good? I'm finna go over here and take a nap now. I'm probably gonna like start playing video games and stuff. You know, need something, wake me up. But other than that, but it better be important. all that kind of stuff. And then you see what's going on. Like I hear the stuff that happens with, I can't speak for Gigi, but stuff that happens with her. I mean, she's never gonna speak about it, but she's gotten some things said on other places, like talking about, making a good Christmas ornament, stuff like that. Anything I knew about that stuff, did you? I'll work it out for you, right? And all she's trying to do is educate. Like she's not. I'm the dude that's gonna get his hands dirty, and I don't mean physically, but I'm the dude that's gonna be out there in your face, going, stop. Why are you doing this? She is trying to be nice to you and go, look, let me give you some knowledge. Gigi is trying to be nice to you. Go, here, look, let me give you some knowledge. Nina, these three queens are trying to give y'all knowledge. Somebody needs to step up for them, because people out there are not happy with the knowledge that they're trying to give. Right? Who's doing that? When you have a chance to shut it down, I don't even say shut it down, but speak up on it. I'm not asking you like, we will boycott or you must get off our site. I don't ask you to do that, but you can call it out. You can shut it down. You can do that. Don't let people speak about these women like that, because what they're doing right here is, in the words of somebody I really respect, they're doing the Lord's work as far as we concerned, right? So let them do that. Don't always agree with it. We got our issues sometimes, but you know what? It's something. It's more than it was before, right? It's more than it was before. So, you know what? I will not always agree with how it's done or said, but I will damn sure always defend your right to say it. No one will disrespect any of y'all if I'm around. Well, I'm 60 now, so I'm be a little slow getting there. But when I get there, I'm bringing some smoke. I bring a little bit of smoke. Can I just bring a little bit of smoke? Okay, bring a little bit of smoke. Okay, it's important what y'all do. It really is. It really is. Many ways to get to this. Like I said, I've been dealing with these same issues that you guys are trying to deal with now for all this time. And nothing's changed. Like, and I really don't expect it to change. My one issue with DEI is y'all are preaching to the people who don't necessarily need it, but are trying to get out. The people who need it, the people who are saying this stuff about y'all, and the people who going, call me the N-word on the battlefield, they're not going to be at your class. And these are the people I'm concerned about.
Right.
These are the people I'm concerned about. There was a lady before the pandemic. She posted something I don't know if you remember this. She posted something in the Skins of Color group about an incident that happened with her and her husband, hanging a banner, right? And then she doubles down on it like, I'm a Christian. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So she said that, and the way, if she could say that in public like that, she's done that before, and she's gotten away with it because nobody stood up and said, hey, lady, or mistress, or whatever you are. That sounds so bad. I'm sorry. Whatever title you want to have, this is not good. That's not right. Don't do that. There's nothing Christian about that. What you're doing, the way you want to do this. You need to apologize. Nobody's done that. Nobody's done that. And that, like I told you in the pre-interview, let me, the race, I'll use my term. The racist, bigoted pukes who are out there are not hiding in the SCA. They are being protected. They're being protected by friends. They're being protected by groups because they are, well, that's just who they are. That's my friend. That's the way they've always been. Well, that was wrong. Well, yeah, but that's just, that's just who they are. So it's okay that he just said that, or she just said that. You're not in your camp. You're not talking, around your campfire. You're out in public here. You're at Pendic, at the food court, and you're not going to say anything, because if you don't say anything, I will. Right? That kind of thing. That's, to me, it's a grassroots. I love what y'all are doing, but I really believe with everything, and this goes back to what you asked earlier, my experience from being part of the movement, or the little bit I was, it's a grassroots thing, man. People Gotta speak up. I don't care if it's mistress, beautiful blonde hair. I don't care if it's master. I can make everything, I'm Lord of all things. I don't care. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And it is the duty of all of us, especially if we're going to talk about the in service to the dream thing, right? It is the duty of all of us. I don't care if okay, if it's your first event, no, I'm not going to say that. If it's wrong, it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Question it. Ask it. You ain't got to go on up to nobody. Like, wow, I'm losing bad grammar and everything now. See what y'all done doing? You got to question it. You can't let it stand, because the moment you let it stand, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes okay. It becomes normalized. It's okay. You can't let it stand. Well, this guy's a king, so then he should definitely know better, because
Absolutely.
we're part of the kingdom. So if you're gonna be king, you can't be king to some of the people. If you're gonna be king, be king. If you're gonna be a peer, be a peer. Be a peer to everybody. I've had, and I can only speak on nights. I've had nights. One of the nights that was on the banishment list that last time, was a night when I first started and asked him for some help, and I never would. He was never like mean or anything like that, but he just always found a reason not to want to help me, not to show me how to do this and how to do that. Right? I could never figure out why, because he was never blatantly mean. Now I know. Right? It's the little things like that that people don't understand, that we see and we deal with and we feel, that they won't deal with. Right? Because they won't recognize it. It's not the fact they're not willing to deal with it. They don't how are they going to recognize it? How do they know? Right? Because you've never really dealt with that before. It's like things that y'all might deal with as women, right? How am I truly going to know? Unless, somebody out here call you all kind of bees and hoes and all that. Yeah, we can deal with that. But all the other stuff that y'all deal with, I'm not going to know. I'm not going to understand it. I can't pretend to understand it. Right? So
you're actually highlighting part of what the hope is, right? That people will start to learn about the microaggressions and the little things. Because you're absolutely right. It needs to be called out. It needs to be something that everyone who wants to do better for us needs to get used to doing. But at the same time, we talk about things like blatant death threats or being called the N-word on the field. And I think, that's that kind of stuff that it happens and people are so shocked at the time and they think, oh, nothing like this ever happens. And I'm like, y'all missed the 10 little things that built up to this that you didn't say anything about. And that's why we're here, right? There's 10 little things that no one really thinks about. No one thinks about calling out that we're intensely uncomfortable with.
right. Yep.
And then there's the one big one.
Yep.
And
that's
I want to
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to reiterate to the audience that when you see something happen and you don't do anything about it, you are complicit. You are not a safe person.
Yep.
You are not my ally. The
ally word.
The ally. I know we're going to talk about that later. We're going to talk about that later. But, if you see it and you don't do anything, it's just as bad. And those red flags, the one thing that gets under my skin so much with this conversation and these types of topics is when I hear, well, he's always like that, or she's always like that, or they're always, that's how they are. That is a red flag. That means there's a pattern of behaviors, like you said, that have been acceptable. That's what leads to the squeaky stairs. That's what leads to these big behaviors. We need to call it out and educate while they're small. But you're right, it's hard. It's hard to see those moments if you're not in it. And that's why people also need to self-educate. Like, we can't be the ones to always call it out, because it can be dangerous for us. You need to do your education, get whether it's online, whatever you need to do So you can call that out.
Also, too, if somebody tells you something's happening, don't start with the, are you sure? Are you sure that's what you heard? Are you sure that's how they're acting? I'm telling you this is happening. I'm not coming to you. You don't think I've thought it through? You don't think we've thought about this? Like, did I really hear that? You don't think we've done that already? See, we've done all the work for you. What we need you to do now is like, give us the line. What do we do about it? Help me figure out how to do something about this.
Yep.
Right. This is what we've already done that. I know Jessica and I, we've had talks about, you know, my feelings on BOD and such. And it's not, I hate saying that because man, I'm glad you're there. I'm glad you and Frederick are there. Right. Because we need you there. I would do it, but I don't think I got a snowball chance in hell right now. But we need you there. But like what people forget is like when you talk about a board of directors across the country, pretty much across the world, the board of directors' job is to take care of the organization. That's the board of directors' job, take care of the organization. Not so much the individual stuff that happens, right? But the organization and overall. So I'm okay with that. Once I realize that, once I take the emotion out of it, which sometimes I tend not to do, because it is an emotional thing for me, right? But when you take the emotion out, they're supposed to take care of those things. Or you can do what Jessica, Gigi, a few other people are doing. Get on there and try to work from the inside and figure out, all right, how are we going to do this? That's a slow process. It's a slow process. And again, generational. We're tired of slow. Let's go. Let's move it along, right? We understand that. I understand that it's always going to be a slow process. So we're talking about the same thing now that my grandfather was talking about, my grandparents were talking about. We're talking about those same things, right? It's not, wow, hang on for a minute. It's not that it's not respected, but again, sometimes you just get tired. Sometimes it's like, you know what? Why am I having this? I had this conversation 10 years ago with you. Why am I having the same conversation now? A friend of mine during the pandemic, this made me think of that, came out to visit me here. Not doing it was before the pandemic. Don't get it was before the pandemic. But he came out to visit. The heart condition and stuff, people were coming to do all that. And we're having lunch over at the local joint here across the street from the house. And he's like, I just wanna say I'm sorry. I'm like, for what? Like, all the stuff you had to go through. I'm like, I just looked at him and said, you think I was making it up? I've told you that how many times. Did you think I was making it up? He was like, no, but I didn't realize. And I use that line. You didn't realize because maybe you didn't want to realize. That messes with your bubble. That messes with that in service to the dream thing. Now it's not that pure anymore because it's the outside world. The mundania is infringing on your game. And you don't want that. And protecting that game is more important than the stuff that some of us who want to be part of that same dream have to deal with to be part of that same dream. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
I'm okay.
please.
I'm all right.
I have a question
Gigi.
about two things that you said. First, to kind of summarize what I'm hearing is that what we're asking is that if you are in a position of power and someone comes to you with an issue, do not dismiss them because they have already asked themselves if that's really what it is. They don't want it to be racism. They don't want it to be sexism. They don't want it to be homophobia. They would rather it be anything but that. But if they are coming to you, they have gone through like all of the other things and they have process of elimination. It's got to be this and I need help. They're coming to you for help, not to put someone down, not to cause trouble. They're coming to you for help. And if you dismiss them, you're sending a message, a very clear message. And we talk a lot about recruitment. We ask a lot of questions about why there aren't, underrepresented groups in the SCA. And that's the reason. That's the reason.
I mean, that story about Gulf Wars, man. I mean, I so want to like Gulf Wars. I so want to love Gulf Wars. Gulf Wars turned me into the melee fighter I am today. When you are leaving from Chicago and driving 800-900 miles, looking at stuff that like, wait a minute, they still got out. Wait, no, that's the outhouse. To go to an SCA event, you're going there to have a good time and enjoy yourself, right? So I've been to Gulf War 3 times. And again, I'm going to say this, 90% of the time there was great, amazing. Learned a lot with my craft as a warrior of the kingdom, a soldier of the kingdom. But those 2 incidents will always stand out and will not go away. The second time that I got caught N-word twice at Gulf Wars on the battlefield. The second time that happened is when I'm like, no. We finna go deal with this. A long story short, there were people begging me because I saw where I thought it happened with the kingdom. They were doing a court, and I was heading that way. I had like the Chicago Crip Walk thing going. I'm going over there. Y'all finna talk to me today, right? And I got stopped, and I go back to my camp, and people are talking to me. They're saying stuff like, well, the next person you fight probably didn't say it or probably didn't do it. And I'm like, are we going to talk about how we solve this? Or are you just trying to keep me from, you really think that my next move is just to go out and just wreck people? You really think, so what are you saying about me? Am I now a stereotype to you? Like, is that what you're saying? Am I now the angry black man now? Like, what? I just want to know why. Can you help me find out why? Because that's what we're supposed to do. That's your job. Can you help me? But they were more concerned about me being calm and not hurting anybody else. And I can see a little of that. But you know what? Now it's over with. It's done. Let's figure out why. Let's go through the proper channels, because this is not right. It's not right. And that things like that just don't, in my experience, don't happen unless it's something that will actually affect the organization itself. You know what I mean? Like if something happens to an individual, a name calling, something like that, you may get a reactionary response, but you're not going to get a preemptive thing, or not. I don't even mean preemptive. You're not going to get like, hey, we need to figure out how this happened, why this happened. We need to give this man, a paid member of the society, somebody who has every right that everybody else has. We need to figure out why this is happening. Because if it's happening to him, it may be happening to somebody else. That's the part that gets missed. If it's happening to him, it may be happening to somebody else. So we need to figure out what do we do? What do we do? I got a letter, email. God, I'm old. I got a letter. It had a stamp and everything on it. There was an incident that happened on one of my Facebook pages where somebody made a joke about BLM, and apparently not all BLM matter, right? So I'm like, no, So like I reported it to Senator, all this kind of stuff, and actually I've talked to the dude since then, believe it or not. See, I'm not always violent. I'm never violent. But I got stuff back from Senator. The Senator down there said, basically, we had this problem before. There's nothing we can do. There's no issue. Oh, so you're judge and jury. I thought your job was like to set it up the line. I got emails from other Senators, not emails, but messages from other Senators going, don't expect it because it's not going to happen. If you're at the center show, don't always expect justice to happen or due process, because due process would be setting it up the line, right? Don't always expect that to happen. That's sad to me. This is a job. So you're asking me about recruiting somebody. How do we get more Black folks here? And my response now is, you don't take care of the ones that are here. Why am I going to bring somebody else here to deal with what I'm dealing with or what I've had to deal with? Because I don't know how they're going to be treated. So, I mean, and that's, as I'm saying that sounds so sad. But again, I think that's generational as well. I think that's generational. I got Jessica in this because I don't want Jessica to have to go through and do a lot of crap I have to deal with. I don't want them to have to go through and do the crap I have to deal with. I don't want Soto to have to go through and deal with the crap I have to deal with. I don't want that. I need to leave. I'm obligated to leave a legacy here. I'm obligated to leave some kind of legacy here. What is that going to be? Do I turn my back on this and walk away and just assimilate? Do I speak up? Do I help bring other people in? Do I challenge? I'm using Jessica as an example because I know her. Do I challenge Jessica? Do I continue to challenge Jessica like I do with some of the DEI stuff? Because that's all it is. It's just challenging, because when we stop doing these things, I don't want to say we're quitting, but then we're assimilating. We're going, all right, it's just going to be what it's going to be. I can either deal with it or I can go do something else. I can deal with this or I can go back and play paintball. And I'm too old to be running around the damn paintball field right now. Right? So I feel the way I do because I have love for this thing. It has so much potential. It has so much potential and hasn't lived up to the potential yet. There's an unkept promise. I need you to keep your promise. I need you to keep your promise. I need the ones behind me to understand that the promise is going to be kept. Because y'all going to have kids one day and y'all going to bring them into the thing and they don't have no more kids' feast. Kids' feast is good. You got like macaroni and cheese, you got chicken, all that. But you're going to have kids out here and you're going to trust these kids running around someplace where you're not going to be around. You're going to trust them running around out there with these people because they're in service to the dream. You got to be able to trust that they're going to be okay. Uh-oh, I'm sorry, y'all.
No, it's an emotional topic. But one thing I want to say, I mean, you've been in the SCA for so long, and I would like to hear, you've talked a bit about several different topics, but one you hit on was that sometimes you have to step away and sometimes you have to get yourself together. And I want to know if you have any advice for others about how to recharge, right? How to build yourself back up when you're dealing with these very emotional topics. You know, when you're worried about your fellow people of color and their issues and their safety, and you know you can't help everybody and you're just doing as much as you can do and you have to say, hey, I'm gonna take a break. Like, what do you do when you take that break? Is it a faith thing? Do you have other hobbies that you get into?
Well, one thing that's easy. I'm used to being. I don't drive right. I don't drive right now. So like I spend 90% of the time of the day by myself, and Monica, you know, she's doing her studies and such now. So yeah, I do a few other things. Not a lot. Like I got a ham radio license just because I was bored. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to get a license. Right?
That's neat.
Build computers. I do my gaming stuff. I'm the most un-SCA person you can imagine. Like I don't do tabletop games. I don't get D&D. I don't Lord of the Rings. I tried to read The Hobbit once, and it's like, why don't I just bang my head on the wall? Like I'm not that SCA person, right? I'm not that guy. I don't do fantasy. If you ask me what an orc was, I'm like, is it pork or beef? I don't understand. You know, I don't. I am the most SCA person when it comes to that stuff. Basically, sometimes you step away for a minute, you take a deep breath, you talk to your friends, And I guess I get lucky. I forgot what tournament it was, but I met Sir Diablo, the first Black Knight in the East. Right now, I've heard of him. I knew stories about him. A dude was like one of my heroes. Like, you know, like he's my Ivan. I don't call him Ivanhoe. Oh no, we can't do that. But he was a dude that was just important. Him, Jafar, who passed away before I started, and Sir Diablo were the two people who looked like me that were playing that I would hear stories about. So now he's at my event. And not only is he at my event, but I'm swearing fealty, because he's new in our kingdom. I'm swearing fealty, and my hand is on his shoulder. Right? I don't kneel at events anymore for not because I can't, but for other reasons. Right? A lot of that had to do with he who should not be named, who was our last president. I don't kneel at an event. I won't. For this man, I got down and kissed his feet. And I had tears coming down my face and like thanking him and stuff. And he's like, I'm like, I don't know how you dealt with this, and I'm tired and all this kind of stuff. He's like, they're still not taking care of us. And he's like, but you're here. Be that example. Be that example. So that, to me, I can put it in a sports term. That's when you get the towel, take the drink of water, sit down on the bench for a minute, raise your hand, go, okay, coach, I'm ready. That's what it is. You just sit back and you know, you just sit back. You just get away from it for a minute. You'll get a sign when it's time to come back in. You'll get a sign when it's time to come back. Something will let you know. At least that's my experience. Something will let you know when it's time to come back. And that's so far, every time I try to step away, something happens. It's like, all right, I can't leave. I can't leave it. I'm responsible. I have responsibility. I can't leave it. Hope that answers it.
It does. You said something that kind of also makes me want to say thank you to Nina for the show, because part of what you're talking about is leaning on other people of color, right? He gave you the words, right? He helped you out. And I think through Nina, I'm getting to meet people that I might not have even known existed because she decided to have this show and kind of build this community for us, by us, so that we can lean on each other. So, and I'm talking to you right now, which is amazing because I've seen you online, but we've never like interfaced. So, appreciative, very appreciative.
And it's okay to pass the torch, right? It's okay to pass the torch every once in a while. And, you know, you've done your time. You've done your time. And I understand not being able to step back. It's really hard when it's so, when it affects every part of your life. And, you know, please know that there are people behind you and people beside you and people in front of you, and we're all fighting the same fight. Now, we talked a little bit about how, you know, with generations, the fight has evolved over time.
Yeah, it's different.
You know, it's absolutely different. I think one of the things that we are running up against is people don't believe that racism still exists. People don't see that in the systems. We have these one-off incidents when really it's still here. It's still very much visible. It looks different. And so people have a hard time believing that it's still here. And that's the frustrating piece of the current fight for me. I just want to be able to shake people. And this is why I really was very appreciative that you did this show, because you've been able to see this work evolve over time and see the SCA evolve over time. And your stories are so impactful and so important to pass on to the next people.
It's like during the pre-interview, we were talking about the generational. It's like y'all all about making it almost like an academic exercise sometimes. We talked about before. Academia is important. The data shows this, the data shows that, all this. And like, I'm used to like, no, you just being an asshole. The data shows that you're an asshole. So you need to stop.
I mean, so
Oh.
so I do want to. No, it's a really good point. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about something that I actually have struggled with a lot, and I don't have any answers. I've just got more space between now and when I first realized it. I'm feeling a little better, but I realized stepping into the role of an educator, I didn't know how much of a toll it would take to continually try to make things palatable for an audience that was not like me. So
you mean whitewashed?
Yes. Well, and not just whitewashing, but literally taking my trauma and making it digestible so that people can learn something out of it, so that no one else has to go through what I went through. Taking the things that I have learned that connect so deeply and emotionally to me, and then trying to find a way to get them to connect that way for other people. And there are lots of times where I realize that I'm almost numb to some of the stories I've told. I'll tell stories about things that have happened to me that I know are traumatic. And I'm like, yeah, I've said this 50 times. I don't know how else to, and every time it gets a little bit harder, right? It gets just a little bit harder to keep that connection to it because I need to be numb to teach about it. I can't be angry Black woman number 78 because people will stop listening. It's very difficult taking these really traumatic, these really difficult, these really anger-inducing moments and giving yourself enough space to then present them to an audience with no emotional attachment to them yet or ever. And it makes me question sometimes, right? Who am I serving? What community am I serving? Because as much as I think that it is so tremendously important that people understand the impact of their actions, that they know what a microaggression is so that they can call it out, there are times when I do feel like I've somewhat turned my back on my own community in favor of trying to be an educator at a more basic level. Because as we all know, the issues facing our communities are pretty deep and pretty varied. And I generally spend a lot of time talking about basics, right? Unconscious bias and privilege and microaggressions, which means I never get to delve into things like colorism or good hair, bad hair, or what have you, right? It's very difficult. It's a weird space to be in. And like I said, I have no answers. It's something that I periodically struggle with. But there is something to be said for the difficulty of taking this trauma and turning it to the academic.
I have two things for that. Number one, why take the emotion out of it? The emotion is part of it. The emotion is what makes it real, right? The emotion is what's going to make it real. You can talk about data all day, right? And I'm a former educator. I understand all that. I'm not making light of any of that. You can talk about data all day. You can talk about this percentage of that. But when you bring that home and you're talking about something that makes you emotional and you got to stop and take a minute, that's when the pencils get put down and people look up and go, wait a minute, I should be paying attention to this because this affects her like this. Wow, I'm missing something here. This is more than a number on a paper. This is more than somebody's thesis. This is more than that. Our trauma, people have been using our trauma forever. Please stop telling my story. You know, give me a white director. Please stop telling my story. Please. I don't necessarily want Spike Lee to do it either, but I definitely don't want Quentin Tarantino doing it. Like, really? Come on. Stop telling our story. Right? This is not for entertainment. Right? We're dealing with things here. The second thing is you talk about turning your back. No, I don't see it that way. Now, I think you talk about in your class something I'm probably gonna go to. I'm like, I don't know, but I might go. I'm like, hey, wait, I'm in here. You good? Anybody? We need to smoke somebody here. No, all right, because we go through it, right? I get what y'all are trying to do. You know, you're trying to do. You're trying to break it down to the basic level. It's like almost a remedial class, right? Break it down to the basic level in a bite-sized bit. So I don't want to give you too much because I want you to get overwhelmed. I want you to start screaming critical race theory, right? But I also need to give you enough that you realize that this is not a one-off. This is a system thing. When you talk about, I don't want my politics in my game. Well, you know what? You brought your politics. I wear mine. And by the way, you're treating me or her, you are showing yours. They got to be talking about who we voted for president. You are showing me who you are. So repeat it after people. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Believe them. Believe them. So yeah, I mean, do your thing. Do what you do. The fact that you even think that way to me means a lot, right? But do what you do. Gigi, same thing. Do what you do. Don't change how you do. You know, I mean, you got to do something the most effective way, the way you're going to be the most effective, right? So if that's what you feel like you need to do to be effective, then that's what you do. That's what you do. There are many roads, many ways to get to, you know, to get to a goal. You know, it's not one road. It's not one road. Some people, you know, the Sabah way, maybe that might not render with this person over here, because, you know, a whole lot of us in the SCA don't have some of the best people skills in the world, right? We are a group of, you know, I don't fit in with, we're a group of misfits. We really are. We're a group of misfits sometimes, right? One of the first guys I met was a dude who sat down with me at a 12th night, and while he brought me a drink, was explaining to me how much he loved medieval poisons. Wow. You know what, dude? Why don't you just take that? You can take that beer. You can just take that beer and move on. Matter of fact, my mama calling. I gotta go. Right? These are the kind of people. He thought this was a great way to meet people. Like, oh, okay, all right. So me talking to him like I might talk to him might not work versus how y'all might talk to him and like just break it down, make it an academic exercise. He might go, oh, okay, I understand that. Versus me saying something to him, he'll be like, oh, I just screwed with somebody else, right? So, you know, it's who we are. We are nerds with power. Nerds with power.
So that leads me to want to ask about the ally question. So when you are talking to people who, for whatever reason, want to assert that they are an ally, right? Who really think it's important for them to behave in the manner of an ally, how do you interact with that? I know some people are really strict about, like, you don't call yourself an ally. That's a term other people use for you based on, you know, how you act. Do you have any advice for people who want to be allies, who coming from a place of a genuine desire to do good for others and be there for others? Do you have advice for them?
It is not theater. You don't need to post everything you did today. You don't need to like show off, look what I did today and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. We don't need to hear all that. We don't need to hear that. We got our own. You want to hear ours? No, you don't, because you keep telling me yours. Stay in your lane and listen. Listen. You are not a frontline soldier here. You really aren't. Much as you want to be, if you want to be, there's going to be a time when you might need to be. But for right now, you're not the frontline soldier. Listen, don't try to tell me what I'm dealing with and what I'm going through, which is a lot of my experience. If you ask me a question and go, well, you don't agree, you think it's this way, you are automatically, you can kick rocks right there. No, because you're gonna tell me you're gonna discount my experience and I'm dealing with it. Are you kidding me? Stay in your lane. Listen. You don't have to advertise that you're an ally, because you know what? If you call yourself an ally, to me, that's a red flag. That means you're gonna get me in trouble at some point. You have the ability to put me in an unsafe situation because you are too busy trying to show that you are this thing. You are this ally. So listen, stay in your lane. When I need help from you, I will tell you. In the meantime, talk to the people in your group. Talk to your friends, your group of people that who are maybe, how do I say this nicely? Who aren't so friendly, who are not ally. How about that? Who are not allied. Talk to those people. I'm not even gonna say call them out. That's, for lack of a better term, call them out, and deal with that. And the rest of it, at least for me, if I need you, I'll let you know. But don't promise one thing, because we've had that. We've had those promises. We've had those promises. Don't promise us. Don't give me the I got you or I got your back. But when it's time for you to have my back, you like way back. I don't need that. I don't need that. I got scars all over me from that. I don't need that. And that's not to say that I don't. It's not to say that I don't appreciate you. Do we need you? Yes. But you don't get points for being a good and civil person. That's kind of expected in society. That's not extra credit. Being an ally is not extra credit. That's being a good, normal, civil human being.
I think the other thing to add is it's not a one and done.
Nope.
Like you don't come and say contribute to Black Lives Matter and march, and then all of a sudden it's falling out of news and you're done, right? Yep. Like that's the thing that always gets me. It's I don't understand, because it's like my life matters for this period of time, and then after that, good luck, have fun. Like, what?
Well, you got a T-shirt out of it, so you're good,
right?
Yeah, there's no trophy that you earn and you can be like, I'm done now. Look at it. I did it. 2012, done. Like, it's not how it works.
I paid my dues.
Yep, well,
it can't be about yourself if you were trying to be an ally to another group, because as soon as it becomes about yourself, you have turned it into some kind of weird self-righteous thing. You should be doing this because it's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
If your friends of that group are problematic to you, you should still be an ally to that community. You should never be doing I was, but then this person was so rude to me. No,
that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
I don't trust these people at all that have a fight with their Black friend and suddenly they take BLM out of their profile. That's not how it works.
Yep.
You should be invested because it's the right thing to do. You should be invested because you genuinely care about equity. I mean, it's just ridiculous to me how sometimes we turn it into this very not just performative, but almost this moral righteousness. And to me, I'm like, yeah,
that's not what
real
it is.
Basic.
It's trendy. It's trendy now. It's a hipster thing. Almost.
Well, and on the one hand, I'm like, normalize it through any means, right? Get it more normalized so the conversations are out there. And then on the other hand, I'm like, I almost would rather you just be blatantly problematic than hide your problematic beneath a veneer of, but I'm here for you, because you're not. You're not. And I would rather know that up front so that I don't even have to pretend. And so I don't end up trusting you when you're not going to be there for me.
Yep. That's it. It's not that difficult. People make it much harder than what it is, right? It's because it's not that hard. Treat me like a friend. Like of all the groups of the people in the SA that call me friend, none of them ever use the word ally with me. Why? We're my friend. They're good people. They think I'm good people. I got them fooled. I think they're good people, right? And there's that mutual respect. That's all we need. We just need. It's so simple. It sounds so simple, right? Just mutual respect. Just mutual respect.
And with some people, it really is that simple.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking when you said that, it made me think about a couple people by name. That they've never.
No names.
No, a couple people by name in my own head that they've never used the word ally. They've never asserted that they're my ally, but I know not just by who they are, but I have heard from other people the things they have done to support people who look like me.
Mhm.
They're not out there broadcasting it. So that makes sense to me the way you described it. Those are people I would consider allies, but they have never used that word. They did not come at me like that. They're just my friends.
See, us old people know a thing or two.
Yeah.
We know a thing or two.
The test for me is really, does someone stick with me when it gets rough for them?
Nope.
Because it's easy to stick with me when I'm struggling, but when the tables are turned and you're struggling because I'm struggling, if you're still standing by my side as they are attacking you for supporting me, that's my test. Then I know you're someone worth having around.
I can't say I have nothing to add to that. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's it.
It's 100%.
That's it.
Like, it is one thing for you to sit with me and go, oh my God, that was so terrible. But like, are you gonna fight with grandma at the dinner table?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna do that? Because like, it's hard for me all the time. Are you gonna choose to step into this when we need you to?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's times when we're gonna need you to. There's times we're gonna need you to. You'll have access to things that we might not necessarily have. Right? What are you gonna do then? Are you worried about your SCA career? Worried about getting that Pelican or that Laurel? So you're not gonna say anything? What's important? And if you are, that's your choice. I mean, that's your choice. But again, pick a lane. Pick a lane. My kids used to say, well, the kids I work with used to have a saying, Mr. Deere, ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Right? Well, all they meant was like you either all in or you're not in at all.
Mm-hmm.
All in or not in at all. That's how I guess that's how I see it. That's how I see it. It's not like leaving the locker room, you hang up your pads and stuff, you go home and do everything else. That's not what we deal with. That's not what we deal with. And some of our friends, allies, have a choice. They can do that. They have their choice. They can treat it like a locker room. I'm done today. It's over. Hang up my stuff. Go do something else. We don't have that choice.
And that's really what prompted me to do this show, is because folks in the SCA see a slice, but my skin is my skin when I walk out the gate.
Yep.
When I take off my garb, like the fight still happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's easy for people to think that, to forget that it's 24/7. It is 24/7. And most of the time, I don't look in the mirror and say, oh, I'm Black. It's hard. I know I'm Black when I am othered. I know I'm Black when it's because of other people. And that is what is so challenging for people to understand is, I mean, I know my personal identity, my cultural identity. I relish in it. I love who I am. And you're the one that is making me feel this way. Whether or not they want to recognize it, that's who it is, right? And it's a tough pill to swallow for some.
Well, it challenges them. It challenges in some instances, like what they're representing, it challenges the values, and in some instances, even a moral compass, which to me sounds weird, but that's true, right? So now that you're challenging, and in some, as SCA terms, my honor. Look at me, camera people. I hate that term. The my honor people. I hate that term. What does that even mean? Like, stop watching Ivanhoe, man. Like, for real. For real. I hate. Oh. You good person or not? Did you take that blow? You knew it hit you. You didn't take it. Okay, you had a choice. You don't have to, right? There's no law. No cops come. Nobody put you in jail. All right, or you take this blow. The dude asked you to watch. The law asked you to watch his booth for a minute while he went to the bathroom, and you saw this female that you've been trying to talk to forever walk by. So now you walk away and do her. Not do her. That came out wrong. I didn't mean it like that. I mean, go talk to her, right? Instead of watching this man's booth like you said you were gonna do. That's your honor, right? So please, just come on, just do the right thing. Do the right thing.
And it's really sad that the bar is so low, right?
Exactly.
On other shows, like
exactly.
Our bar is to be a human being. Be nice. I mean, that's all I want. Be nice. That is such a low bar. It's really sad. Really sad.
It is. Be nice when no one's watching. I think that's be nice when it's not going to get you anything. Be nice when there's no reward at the end. There's no cookie. No one's going to pat you on the back and tell you what a great person you are.
Exactly.
That's the question. And I think that's where we run into some of that performativity.
Well, SCA, it's a culture of award, right? If you don't get an award and somebody else gets an award that you think you should have got, it's funny sitting in court listening to people mumble. Like, are you kidding me? Stop. You know why you didn't get that award? Because the people around you and your group didn't vote for you. Go yell at them. If you want to be mad or something, they do it. That's how you do that. Like, really, it's crazy. And that, I think it's the same way what you're saying with I'm going to make up a word. Allyism, is that a word? Can I get that in the dictionary? Allyism?
Yes.
Just now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm now academic. But don't look around. Don't do this and look around and go, see what I did? No, I probably didn't see it because I was over here doing what I was supposed to be doing. So no, I didn't see that. But good job. Thank you. Pat on the back. Yay. It's that's the stuff that gets me. That's the stuff that gets me. I just need you to be a good person. That's all we're asking you to do, is be a good person. Don't throw it up in our faces. Just do it because it's a good person. I don't drum because, hey, look at me drum. You know why I drum? Because I love the way you dance. And if I drum, I get a reward. I get a reward, but you also get to dance, right? I do it because it makes people smile. It makes people happy. Well, I don't know if it still does, but it used to, right? I'm not doing, I drum by myself. I can't tell you how many times I'm just, well, you haven't really seen it. We haven't been outdoors that much, Jess. But like, bigger drum to an event. And in mid-realm, normally I'm the only one in the event with a drum. So I'm drumming by myself and I'm just doing my thing. I'm not looking for anything else. And suddenly somebody will come wiggling by and somebody else will come wiggling by. And before you know it, there's like a little dance thing going on. It's cool. It's impromptu. I didn't sit out to go, I'm going to be an ally to the Middle Eastern dance community and I'm going to play my drum. No, that's not how that worked. I'm like, I got a drum. I want to play it. Oh, and y'all feel the groove. Y'all feeling that tune. Okay, so now we're all in tune right here. Right? We just need to get in tune. Once we get in tune, get that groove, an amazing dance will go happen. And maybe we just might find that dream. Maybe we just might find that dream. Let me write that down. Wait, hang on.
I was like, done. All right, sign off. Those are the words. Those are the words. We talked a lot. I really appreciate this episode. Felt really, really emotional. Really, I don't want to say taxing because it's both energizing and it takes a lot to have these conversations. So
Well,
I really want to thank you.
I hope you got what you
I
wanted.
did.
Mm.
And I think the thing to remember is this show is for us, by us. Like it's
FUBU.
that FUBU. That's what is on part of the logo. The show is to help others know that they are not alone, that their experiences are shared by many, and maybe educate some folks along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But this show is really for outreach. And kind of last note before we talk about bringing on our next guest, and Jessica's going to introduce our next guest. We got to have a Voices of Color party. We got to have an event. If you're willing to organize it, someone reach out. I'm willing to attend. I'm willing to maybe talk, give a class. It'll happen because we got to. It's a way to recharge, to be in the same room. As far as my experience, there aren't many affinity groups and times to be surrounded by people of color. So we're going to have to make that happen. And Adrian, we're going to have to, sit down and chat some more.
We can do a part 2. You got to reach out to Monica though.
Absolutely.
Because like,
I would love to have her here.
Yeah. Because I know you were talking about doing something because like we're one of the few like black couples. So like, oh, that's what we are, aren't we? Oh, yeah.
Well, what it's like to support, what it's like to be a person of color, supporting a person of color in the same journey. Like it's a complex issue, and I think we have room for episode 2.
Well, if y'all reach out, I'm sure she'll go. Cause right now she'll still writing a paper. I'm not going in that room. I know what that. I ain't going in that room.
She said in the comments, so she is working and watching.
Oh, okay. Love you.
All right,
Jessica, you proud of me, Jessica? See, I didn't bring no smoke.
I am thrilled. I thought it was amazing. I'm so glad that people got the chance to hear your perspective.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having it. Like I said, if you want a part 2, I got you. No problem. Let me know.
Nice.
We'll definitely do that. Jessica, who do we see in 2 weeks?
You're still not gonna do it. Okay.
I'm still not.
2 weeks. We have Count Seto Gashugo. So that'll be fun.
Hello, little brother.
And after that, we're going to have one more show to wrap up 2021. So you'll see myself, Gigi, Jessica, and possibly a special guest who's also been fighting the fight as long as some of us have. But it's been an experience. It's been quite the journey, and we want to make sure that we wrap 2021 up in a really positive way. So I'm looking forward to it. So 2 more shows until 2022. And let me tell you, we've pretty much booked up our 2022 lineup. So we got more coming. I didn't expect it, but we got more coming. So
That's good stuff.
I want to thank everyone for watching, as always. And, hopefully you're taking part of this with you, whether it's seeing people that look like you and have similar stories like you, or it's a nugget about how you can support people of color, not once, but multiple times, and we'll make it happen. Thank you all for watching.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Queens.
Thank you.